Ukraine has launched a series of intensified counterattacks targeting deep within Russian territory, specifically aiming at infrastructure in the Moscow region and Rostov-on-Don. In a significant development, Ukraine's Special Operations Forces reported the first successful use of a deep strike drone to shoot down a Russian Mi-8 helicopter near Kuteynikovo. Social media footage also appeared to show explosions at the Shatura thermal power plant, although officials in Kyiv have not formally confirmed involvement in that specific strike. On the ground, the pro-Ukrainian group Atesh claimed responsibility for sabotaging an electric locomotive transporting military cargo, disrupting Russian supply lines. However, the Ukrainian military also faced setback, with reports of a friendly fire incident near Kupyansk where two saboteur groups mistakenly engaged each other during a failed infiltration mission. Russian General Gerasimov subsequently confirmed that Russian forces had fully liberated Kupyansk in the Kharkiv region, while analysts noted that Moscow has captured over 15 villages in Sabotage as Ukraine struggles with manpower shortage. Diplomatic activity has reached a fever pitch in Geneva as negotiators debate the controversial 28-point peace plan proposed by the administration of President Donald Trump. Former Ukrainian presidential press secretary Yulia Mendel publicly urged her country to accept the U.S. proposal, warning that future offers would likely be worse as Ukraine loses ground. This sentiment clashes with the fears of many European governments who are preparing for the possibility that Washington may halt support if Kyiv does not cooperate. Despite tensions, including a brief public dispute where President Trump criticized Ukraine for showing zero gratitude, Secretary of State Marco Rubio described the latest round of talks as the most productive so far. Rubio emphasized that any final agreement would need to be signed by President Trump and President Zelensky before being presented to Russia. U.S. envoy Keith Kellogg added pressure by describing recent defiant comments from Ukrainian officials at the United Nations as political posturing, insisting that Kyiv must make difficult decisions to end the conflict. European powers have reacted sharply to the leaked details of the U.S. draft, which reportedly includes clauses requiring Ukraine to cede territory, reduce its military size, and abandon NATO memberships. Reports indicate that Britain, France, and Germany have pushed a modified counter-proposal that seeks to restore full Ukrainian sovereignty and delete sections seen as favoring Moscow. While Secretary Rubio denied the existence of this specific counterplan, Ukrainian negotiator Rustam Umerov stated that the updated U.S. framework now reflects more of Kyiv's key priorities after intense discussion. Simultaneously, the Kremlin acknowledged reviewing a version of the draft aligned with earlier understanding, with aide Yuri Ushakov noting that several provisions were acceptable to Russia but others required detailed multilateral discussion. The situation remains confused, with some sources claiming a secret U.S.-Russia consultation is occurring alongside the official Geneva track. In a show of defiance against the pressure to concede, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky delivered a blistering speech at the 4th Parliamentary Summit of the Crimea platform in Stockholm. Zelensky urged world leaders to reject any Russian demands for territorial concessions and called for a unified stand against legitimizing seized land. He was joined in spirit by U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson, who issued a message declaring that peace is secured through strength and warned that Russia must not dictate the terms. Ukrainian Parliament Chairman Ruslan Stefanchuk reinforced this stance, outlining unbreakable red lines that include no recognition of occupied territories and no caps on Ukraine's armed force. The statement signals that while Kyiv is participating in the Geneva talks, the government remains deeply opposed to the core tenets of the original Trump proposal regarding neutrality and land loss. The peace process has exposed significant divisions within the European Union and its allies regarding how to handle the U.S. administration's approach. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed openness to revising the American plan, noting positive elements such as security guarantees that resemble Article 5 protections. In contrast, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk issued a severe warning, labeling parts of the plan a trap that bears the imprint of Russian interests, particularly clauses that will rule out NATO troops in Ukraine. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen aligned with the skeptical bloc, warning that an unstable settlement that redraws borders by force would only sow seeds for future conflict. As negotiations continued, Denmark's foreign minister cautions that Europe risks being sidelined if Washington and Moscow rush for a ceasefire deal without full European Union involvement. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. With European leaders reportedly drafting a counter-proposal to save Ukraine's sovereignty and President Zelensky ordering deep strike into Russia, do you think Europe has the military and economic strength to sustain Ukraine's war effort alone if the United States withdraw its support under the new administration? Or will this transatlantic split hand a strategic victory directly to the Kremlin, and why? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on what this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Like the video, share this video with friends and family, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.